Appreciate you being here. As we jump into a new week, you obviously were able to come in last night. Get a lot of the corrections from the game. Be able to assess the performance and obviously challenge and inspire for the improvement that is absolutely necessary here. As we jump into this next week, and I think every person a part of this team, every coach, staff, every player. We understand that there's great strides that need to be made, and they need to be made quickly. And that's one of the things that we've emphasized, that we have to be able to carry over the work from practice into the game and maintain that consistency throughout the course of a 60-minute contest, and continuing to focus on our discipline, our details, our communication. And then we've got to go out there, and when the opportunity presents itself, we've got to make the play and truly seize the moment that we have. And I think every person that was in the meeting last night, they all are embracing the opportunity that we have, and the opportunity in front of us is to continue to work and to grow and improve. And that's my expectation. That's what I'm going to demand, and that's going to start not only with what we're doing here today, but as we get back to the practice field here tomorrow and throughout the course of the week.
Hey, Mike, when you went back and watched the film, what were the most concerning issues that you saw upon further review?
There was quite a few things that we know that need to be improved and need to be corrected. But really, throughout the course of the game, I thought there were a lot of times that we didn't maintain control. And it's an emotional game. It's a game that there's going to be swings, there's going to be ups and downs. But when adversity strikes, that's where you've got to be able to maintain poise and make sure that you stay focused on the little things of what it is to play winning football. And I thought that there were times, really early and late throughout the course of the game, that our response was not to what our standard is, and those are things that we're going to continue to work and correct. And obviously you'll play this game with tremendous passion, but to be able to do it with fundamentals, discipline, and put ourselves in a great position to be able to be successful with how we're playing.
Coach, I don't know if you've had maybe going back to your playing days, you've had seasons that started like this. Does the mission change when a team starts off so poorly than when a team starts off with some success early in the year? And how do you, I imagine the process is always a process, but does it change in terms of how do you communicate or things like that?
No, I mean the mission is always to get better, and that's the focus. And so every day that we come to work, every day that we step in the facility, you have to improve, and you've got to see the application of how you're preparing and what you're doing in the meeting room, what you're doing on the practice field. I mean, that's got to carry over and be its best whenever you get an opportunity to play a game. And there's not been a whole lot of times in my career that we started off where we are, but on the flip side of that, the outcome of the game is something that how we respond to that. I mean, there's been times that I've been where we've been highly successful, and the mission never changes. You have to go out there and prove. But just like I told the team, we are where we are. The product that we put on the field the first two games is the reason that we're sitting where we are, and the thing that we can control is how we're gonna approach each meeting, how we're gonna approach the work that we have in practice, and then all those things building up to it, up to kickoff. We've got to go out there and we've got to be able to apply it, and not just whenever everything's going well for us. It's when that adversity strikes, can we maintain that control, that poise, and continue to execute consistently for 60 minutes. And that's the challenge that we have in front of us, and fully aware of the challenge that we have. It's not a secret that there were going to be challenging moments, especially with all the things that have occurred up until this point through spring and fall. And so it's a great opportunity for this program, and this is a critical week because we've got to continue to improve and go out there and put ourselves in the best position to be successful.
Coach, when you're at home and you're watching the team, you're seeing players and coaches arguing. You're seeing mental mistakes in terms of penalties being made out of frustration. I mean, is the biggest thing for you right now to coach up execution or to coach out bad attitude?
It's for me to coach all aspects of our program. I mean, you have to pick the standard of how we play and how we conduct ourselves. I mean, that's never going to change. And everybody has a choice, and you have a choice of how you're going to respond. I mean, it's an emotional game, and I want guys that are passionate about how they play, and everything that they do. It's not a fun experience when you're playing in a game and things are not going your way, and everything, all the feelings that come along with that. But being able to maintain that composure in your response to those situations, you stop momentum by focusing on one play. And it really only takes one play to change momentum. And if you will stay focused on all those little things, then you put yourself in the best position to be able to achieve success. But I think it all ties hand in hand together. What we do off the football field and how we approach the meeting room, how we approach our academics, how we approach our social lives. I mean, those things are all they're all tied together. And if we want to be consistent on the field, we got to continue to work to be as consistent as possible off the field. And that's the I guess the menu and the plan that I've tried to live by as a player and as a coach. And it's going to be done the right way, and it's going to be successful. And that's all I've ever been a part of. And it's going to happen here. And the quicker that we will continue to grow and improve, then the quicker that success will come.
Hey, Mike, David Hale with ESPN. How much do you sort of rely on being in the locker room after a game like that to kind of get a feel for where guys' heads are at, or where the morale of the team is at, or how people are likely to bounce back? And how hard was it for you not to be in that situation this time around?
That was the thing that was probably the toughest aspect of it. Like I said, I mean, there's a lot of coaches that really enjoy when things are going well, and being able to stand in front and get the notoriety in those moments. I mean, I truly embrace the times when things aren't going well, when you have that the opportunity to truly help lift guys up and to kind of refocus them. I sent the team a message there. After the game, and so they got a sense of where I was, and my thoughts for them and with them, and it was good to be able to get back at least in front of them on Zoom there on Sunday in our meeting. But that was something that I hated that I wasn't there for, because this is my team. These are my players. These are guys that I do absolutely care about and believe in. And it hurts when you don't play to your capabilities, and you get beat in a big game, a rivalry game, and that in some instances we didn't put ourselves in a position to even achieve success. And that's something that we've got to continue to work on, and just the belief in not only understanding where we are, but where we're going, and just trusting that process. And but we had a good meeting yesterday. I was really I thought our guys handled themselves in the response after the game, how we did things. Guys came in and went to work, and I thought we got better with last night's practice. So we got to continue that throughout the course of this week.
Looking back at how Tate played, you talked about it a little bit on Saturday, but going back and watching the film, how'd you feel like he did, especially in that moment? And then also, is he closer to being able to participate And like, what do you see their roles being maybe this week?
Well, I thought just starting with Tate. I mean, Tate's put in that's a challenging situation to ever have to go in. But I thought he did a nice job. He definitely embraced the moment. You could tell the first couple plays were happening fast for him. But he had the early mistake with the interception. But I thought he responded really well. Came back and was able to put together a drive. Fortunately, we weren't able to finish it there at the end, but we've made a couple nice throws, a couple nice decisions, and so I'm excited about his growth. I'm excited about what he's done. Chubba, continued to practice last night. We're gonna as he's rehabbing and getting himself in a position to be able to play. We're gonna go through that process, and as quick as he can, and it's safe for him too, then he will. And but the good thing is we're able to see him in practice, and we're getting closer, I believe, with each day that goes by. And there's competition every day, and it's at each position, and so that's something that's going to continue into this week. I know that every person in that room wants to get better, and Jordan went out there on Saturday, and he was moving around yesterday. So I mean, we're going to continue to see how he responds throughout the course of the week. But there's a sense of urgency. There's a sense of urgency in every position room. Because we got to improve, we got to get better, and we got to go apply it there through the course of a game.
Mike, how did the young offensive linemen, Thomas Schrader, Robert Scott, how did they handle? I think each got about 10 snaps or so late there. How did they do?
I thought they did well, and those are two guys. Unfortunately, in week one they weren't available. Due to different circumstances, but it was good to see them get on the field, and those guys we're going to continue to force feed them the opportunities, and whether that's looking at different potential as they grow and get better in practice and do what they need to do. I mean, they have a great opportunity to earn playing time, to continue to, whether it's a series here or a series there, to continue to compete. But I think both those guys have tremendous upsides, tremendous futures. They both play the game physically. They both are intelligent young men that understand understand leverage. They understand what we're asking them to do, and so they're going to continue to compete. And I look forward to their opportunities to continue to grow as the season progresses.
Hey, Coach. Tamorian, I know, was someone who was limited in terms of his number of reps he got Saturday, and I think had a change today on the depth chart as well. I guess can you speak? Is there any change in his status? Is he available? Was he going through an injury or something?
Yeah, he was limited last week, and so he really didn't show to be able to practice until I guess it was Friday. He got some limited work this past week, and he did. We took a look at him in pregame and felt that he could have an opportunity to contribute, and then we'll see how he responds throughout the course of this week, and where he's at for come game day on Saturday.
Hey, Coach, I was going to ask about Terry, but then I'll pivot here, and I want to ask you about Robert Cooper. We saw his hand was it looked like a club, and then Travis Jay was spotting crutches. What are those guys' status here going forward?
We're evaluating both them here early in the week, and get a better sense of how they come back. Obviously we did put the club on Coop, and we'll see where that goes. As this week progresses, but same with Travis.
Hey, Mike David with ESPN again. Maybe to piggyback a little bit on asking about Tamorian, but also on Marvin. I mean, those two guys both turned down opportunities to play at the next level to come back for this year. When the season gets off to the kind of start that it has, do you get concerned about how they might handle it? Do you go to them and say, like, look, we need you more than before? How does that those guys, given the opportunities that they had, how much do you monitor that in a situation like this?
I really don't. I mean, it's the standard just with any player that is a part of our program. The standard's to improve and get better. And I'll tell you, one of the things that stood out to me in that game, Obviously, unfortunately, Marvin had the penalty and got disqualified. But if you want a sense of who Marvin Wilson is, watch him on the sideline after he could not play anymore. It didn't matter if it was the first string guys or some newcomers that were getting opportunities to go out there and impact. That is a guy that loves his teammates. That's a guy that wants to make an impact, whether he's on the field or off the field. And I talked to Marvin first thing yesterday morning, and I told him that was one of the prouder moments of the game for me, to see that encouragement, to see that passion, to see that, and without being able to make the physical impact. But he's got to get better. And just like every other player on our football team has to get better. It is a collective effort. I know you mentioned Terry. The same standard applies. He's got you got to come out. You got to obviously prepare yourself in practice, and then you got to seize the moment and make sure that the preparation carries over to the game, and then you got to perform. And that's the great thing about the game of football is that you get so many opportunities, and they are limited opportunities. And so I know those two guys you mentioned with specifically, but it's not a different standard for anybody on our football team. You got to go out there, you got to prepare to be better than what you've been, and then you've got to go and apply that through the course of a 60-minute game when we get those opportunities.
After the game itself, you weren't there, as you said, to be with the team. What kind of things did you hear back from talking to your staff about? Did you get the sense that any of the leaders or maybe people who weren't perceived to be leaders, anybody stepping up or handling things the right way? Any encouraging signs immediately after the game?
Yeah, I think that after, and that's kind of part of my message yesterday to the team is that there's opportunities to be vocal, and I think that you see that through the course of a game, and obviously all the emotions and things that go through with that. But it's also who's bringing that passion and that purpose through the course of a work week in practice, because you don't flip the switch on Saturday and say, hey, I'm now going to play really good. You got to be consistent in how you're approaching the special teams meeting there on Tuesday morning. You got to be passionate about how you're approaching your film study independently with your position. You got to make sure that you're investing the time that's necessary. And then when you get an opportunity to go out there and you perform in practice, you've got to cut it loose and try to get that game mentality rep. And so that's something that I've seen guys, Asante Samuel has been one that I've really been pleased with, as he's been coming along. Renardo Green has really done a nice job trying to help push that, and obviously it has that, I think, has the right mindset and the approach. And there's guys like we know Marvin, we know guys that have kind of been in that role. But the challenge is for everybody, and it's not just come Saturday. It's what we're willing to do throughout the course of the week, and that's got to show up. And if we want to be consistent, when not only are things going well for us, but when things are going that are challenging, that's those opportunities to grow in your confidence. And anybody that's ever been out to one of our practices, guys get challenged. That's I'm gonna try to create adversity through the course of a practice to help prepare them for what they're going to see through the course of the game, so that they can be in control of their response. And we're still working through that, and that's something that we're definitely not there yet. I think guys understand. I think they're working to buy into that more, but it's also what wins, because there's going to be something bad that happens in each game, and our response to it is going to be indicative of what the final outcome will be or can be.
Mike, I hope you don't mind my asking, but how are you feeling, and do you expect to be able to coach on Saturday on the sidelines?
Yeah, I'm feeling fine. I plan on being out on the practice field tomorrow, and I'll probably be in a lot better mood.
Mike, I wanted to get your thoughts after watching film of Lawrence Toafili. Saw him move up on the depth chart. I guess what did he do as a freshman? And then a second question, what did you think of James Blackman's performance after getting a chance to go back and watch the film?
I thought Lawrence, we knew going into this game that we wanted to be able to provide some opportunities, some more opportunities for Lawrence to be able to impact. And He did a couple good things in week 1, and you see each week he comes out to practice. Him in the meeting room, you could see the confidence starting to build. Obviously his performance, their Saturday was one that I was really pleased with, and I mean not just what he did with the ball in his hands, but even in some moments that he had to step up in pass protection, and he throws his body around. As a true freshman, you could tell the willingness that he has. I think he's got a chance to be a great player here. And those opportunities are going to continue to increase as he emphasizes that same mentality and his preparation, and excited about what impact he's going to be able to make. In regards to James, I think you go back and through the course of the game, I mean there were some moments that were really out of his control, and some things that happened. There was some situations that I'm sure that he would like to have back, and some of the choices and just different opportunities. And there's some things that he did a good job with. And so I think that with James, it's continuing to put himself in that moment, and when something doesn't go right, or something obviously a challenge arises, make sure that he's trusting those fundamentals. He's trusting the things that we're hoping put him in a position to be able to do, and just to go out there and play the game, and to trust, as he, when James trusts the fundamentals of what he's been asked to do, I think that he is very confident in and how he can perform. I think he's very confident in the skill set that he has, and that's just part of his growth. I mean, I mentioned at the beginning of the year, I mean, to go through the things that he's had to go through in the number of systems, the different coaches, and all the different expectations of him. This is a process for him as well. And so, but he came back last night. It worked extremely hard. He understands the areas that he's going to continue to grow and get better with, and it's continue to push.